So I'm, wanted to lighten it up. I've been really enjoying the work of NAFO, the North Atlantic Fellows Association. And so I thought I would have the NAFO Fellows join me for this live projection operation, sending in these memes, delightful, enchanting, silly, mean, heartwarming stuff that they do. And I would just show them to you. And so while I'm doing this, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through these. I'm going to run through them pretty fast. So in each of these cases, I've included who these are from. They're not necessarily the people who created them. They're the people who tweeted them at me. And so if you see a meme or a fella and you say, wait a minute, I did that. That's not from so-and-so. My apologies. I source all of these to how I got them, who sent them to NAFO projection op, and I cannot sort out manufacture of them. April Sparkles sent in a lot of them. Some of them are, I've had to be selective with all of these, a lot of people, about which ones I've chosen. So for those who, for whom NAFO is bewildering, I have to say, I am with you. These memes started showing up out of nowhere. So this one, I had a little bit of involved in. This one was from one of our last projection operations. This is where two little girls put sunflowers down, and a member of the staff of the Russian embassy came out and kicked them. This really happened, and the only thing about this that is not accurate is the presence of the fella walking down the street when it happened. It's poetic license, it's awesome, and this is NAFO, this is... So for those of you who are new to this, what happened is that a group of people around the world, it started, I believe, with an artist who goes under the handle Comma Camellia, and started responding to Russian disinformation online with these memes, most of which feature the dog, not all, but most, and used it to raise money for the Georgian Legion. Some of these are really beautiful. They can be hard to make out the degree of detail on the wall. I will be making both of these slideshows available. I love this one a great deal. And they started tweeting them both to raise money for the Georgian Legion, but also as a way of responding to Russian disinformation, and it proliferated. And more people began declaring themselves fellas, joining the North Atlantic Fellows Association, producing memes and sharing them. Some of them are mocking, trolling. Some of them are, like this one, just moving images. A lot of them feature the dog. And a lot of them are ironic. I would particularly appreciate it if people could grab good screenshots of this great Russian culture image sitting on top of the Russian Cultural Center. And, so Avery is going to do that. So we're going to pause here. In fact, I'm going to move the projector ever so slightly so that the great Russian culture is visible there. There we go. All right, so at April Sparkles 1, this is, I think, maybe the image of the day. Great Russian culture on top of the Russian Cultural Center. Thank you for sending it. Also love this one. So a lot of people sent images of their particular fellas. And I love that. And I want to pause over this one. This is Congressman Adam Kinzinger, who I believe is watching this evening. Representative Kinzinger is, I think I want to say this, one of the people in Congress who truly understands the relationship between democracy protection in the form of U.S. support for Ukraine and democracy protection at home. And I think there is an important seamless web between his views of this subject and his work on this subject and his work on the January 6th committee. There is a relationship between democracy protection in all of its forms. And I don't think it's an accident that he affiliated himself with NAFO. And Avery tells me that he is here, and I'm honored to have him here. So I thought I would just include a bunch of images of the fellas that people sent. So I really, I have no idea how Claretta Nihuis pronounces her name, but she sent in a number of really wonderful ones, of which that one is among my favorites. And this one, look, I love the Crimea oops jokes. They're just, they never stop being funny. The Russians on the beach who are just outraged that their vacation was ruined. So I want to pause over this. This was clearly made for this event. Idi nahoy means go fuck yourself. And it's actually it's untranslatably coarse, and I really appreciate whoever M. Blech for sending this in and sharing it with us. I thought it really gets the spirit of what we're about this evening. All right, yes, so let's talk about this image for a minute, because a lot of Russians are convinced that NAFO is a CIA operation. And I want to address that concern because I've dealt with the CIA a lot over the years. I run, in my day job, I run Lawfare. We do a lot of work on intelligence, national security matters. That's what we're about. I've dealt with the CIA a lot. Look, they don't have a good sense of humor. This is not actually within their capacity. They're really good at a lot of things, but producing great memes, there's no agency less apt to produce a lot of really funny stuff than the CIA. Just saying. So yeah, a lot of great CIA jokes in these memes. A lot of tractors stealing tanks or towing away tanks jokes. I love this one. I just do. A lot of you sent it to me, and it's great. It's just great. Kremlin bullshit at the Russian Cultural Center. Again, that could be the takeaway image of the day. A lot of people also sent me this one, the "We are lucky they are so fucking stupid" one. It is, as the person who coined the phrase at the beginning of the Trump administration, "malevolence tempered by incompetence," I do have a certain spot in my heart for this. Yeah, so this one may be a little bit hard to see on the wall. I think it is a particularly excellent one. Again, not sure where it came from. I'm not sure if Danu 924A produced it. It is great. And to the army of meme dogs, I totally fucking salute you, because, making up this stuff is actually hard, and doing it in a way that takes the thing seriously, because, right, we gotta actually remember all the time that what this is about is genocide, and you want to be funny and catch people's attention, but also never forget that it's actually about something that in the most deepest sense is deadly serious. Yeah, so space, my God, it's full of fellas. Yeah, I really love this one too. Kherson, right now there's a lot of fighting in Kherson Oblast, and the battle for Kherson City is coming. It is, it's going to be a major point in the war, and we should all be keeping the people of Kherson in our thoughts. The fighting is getting close there. Yeah, so this is, this is NATO, and NAFO as NATO, and, we joke about it, but NATO is really important. And, when a group of defense ministers, when a group of democracies get together and decide to support another democracy, and to do it through the mechanisms and interoperability of a functional military alliance, it's an incredibly powerful thing, and we've had a demonstration of that. And so I love it that somebody, whether it was Claretta Niehuis or somebody else, I love it that somebody actually thought about creating a humorous image for that. This one's just badass. I again, no idea who made it. Yorin the Crow sent a bunch in. Okay, so I got to say a word about KY underscore painter, who I'm pretty sure did make these. So these appear to be actually, if they're not hand painted, I don't know what they are, how she's producing them, but they're pretty amazing, humorous, but also like exquisitely well painted. And I wanted particularly to include them because, honestly, the Russian Cultural Center needs a little bit of reminder of the sort of things that it should be doing. Painting, music. I guess this is your last view after being thrown down a well by a group of fellas. So cheerful, cheerful fellow with a sunflower and a battle axe. And I think this one actually contains a really important message. It says, every time you block a fella, 10 more spawn. And I actually want to say a word about that because, ultimately, the fight against disinformation and NAFO is not merely an effort to support Ukraine, although it is an effort to support Ukraine. It's also an effort to crowdsource the problem of responding to disinformation. And, we often think about disinformation as a policy problem that we need government leadership to solve. And there's a lot of truth to that, of course. Government has a role, and platforms have a role, and content moderation has a big role. But there's the deep message of this meme is that ultimately, the health of an online ecosystem and an informational ecosystem is a crowdsourced project, and that one of the ways that you improve the health of an ecosystem is by spawning fellas, which we can take as a sort of loose term for creating engaged citizens of whatever country who are going to memify truth, who are going to make it fun to correct falsehood and tell the truth. And that's a project that is a part of modern citizenship. And I think whoever made this, I don't know if that's what they were intending to say, but it's what it says to me, and I think it's a really important message. Okay, so I confess, because I'm an old, I had to have one of my kids explain the "what air defense doing" meme to me. But for everybody who's younger than 52, who does not need that explained, it's there it is. There are a lot of "what air defense doing" memes coming out of NAFO. I love this one. I like the cartoon ones. I particularly like that this guy has a Z on his forehead. This is, by the way, the longest we have ever gone without the Russians shining a Z spotlight on or otherwise interfering. So I just want to say a little message to Ambassador Antonov, which is that you guys are losing your touch. It used to be we would come out here and you would be all over us with the Z spotlights and the V spotlights and the Russian flag. We've been going for like an hour now, and there's no one here, so
wide open right now.
It's wide open. Fucking get on it, guys. All right. A lot of Russia is a terrorist state memes with cheerful dogs. Okay, so this is the one, most of these I have not included the tweet on, but this one I did because this was made for Defense Minister of Ukraine, who responded to it with, I think, really the first ever government acknowledgement of a group of troll dogs that formed on a social media site as an army. And I just think this is an important little event in history, that this meme got created and generated official acknowledgement from the Ukrainian government. I love this one. I just, I think it stands for so much. And it has no words on it. And again, it is, I think, from KY Painter. And, these are amazing images. So this one's hard to see because of the flagpole stuck in the way. But Yeah, Avery's trying to get a shot of it for the people who are on Twitter. Lots of, again, CIA jokes. Crimea jokes. The Crimea jokes never get old. All right, here we have another important idea that, NAFO bothers the Russians, and this idea that it lives free in the Russians' head. It is very similar in that regard to the special military operations that, it bothers them a lot when we do these. And one of the reasons that I, wanted to team up with NAFO is that it provokes a sort of similar angry reaction. The reaction to the, from Ambassador Ulyanov, I didn't pronounce this nonsense, is really very similar to the kind of angry reactions that we've gotten with these projection operations and other mischief, sunflower mischief and stuff. Super famous image that is just, you can't make this shit up. Captures so much. Again, I love it. Yeah, again here, capturing the rage that this produces, and I do encourage you all to tweet some of the images of these against the wall of the Russian Cultural Center. Share them. They are very worth your time, just in the amount of anger that they produce inside of Russia. Okay, the final group of slides. So generally speaking, the more complex an image is, the harder it is to project against a wall. So things with lots of text, I generally try to avoid. But, the Attack'em cigarette ads are pretty great. And it's very hard to not love them. So here they are, or at least some of them. Again, mixed in with here with Crimea beach jokes. Thank you for smoking. Toasting removes dangerous orcs. Okay, and that brings us to the end of the slideshow.